So we've just experienced the solar eclipse in Libra, and the effect of this eclipse is going to last for quite a few weeks, even months actually. So what is the eclipse? It's a portal. It's a time for new beginnings. Because the Sun is conjunct the South Node, it's really about the realization of our collective past and the trauma that comes with it. Yes, we have been lied to on a massive scale, and we've experienced, in some ways, a giant psyop, both individually and collectively. So this time with the solar eclipse, it's really about leaning into the new Earth and creating it and bringing it forward. Because this eclipse opposes Eris, the goddess of discord and strife, and because she's conjunct the North Node, it's in more ways than one about stepping into our new identity, claiming our power back for ourselves, and stepping into our potentiality. It's also about observing our behavioural patterns, and this is Libra after all, because it's always through the lens of one's relationships. Our relationship with ourself, our relationship with our partner, our lover, our relationship with our family, friends, business, colleagues, etc. So the question is, with this eclipse, is are we still following an old pattern of behaviour? Are we still programmed within the 3D perceptual matrix? And the answer is, of course, we all are to a greater or lesser extent. So we have to deprogram ourselves. We have to step into the new. That's what the solar eclipse really behooves us to do, step into our own power, especially with the activation of Eris and the North Node directly opposite it. Now, last week, we had the Mars-Sun conjunction, but now we're having the Sun-Mercury conjunction, which is opposite Eris in the North Node. But it's also making a T-square with Pluto in Capricorn. So big shift against institutional power. A lot of secrets coming out. I mentioned that to you last time. So the need to communicate, Mercury, very clearly, ideas around justice and injustice, Libra. We're going to see that big clash here as the T-square in Pluto is activating the Sun in Libra and the nodal axis. So on a personal level, relationships, they're going to come under a lot of pressure. They're going to have to be refined, renewed, renegotiated. And if they're not serving the higher purpose, they're going to dissolve. So it's really about stepping into a newer version of ourselves. That's what the solar eclipse asks us to do. Start to meditate, contemplate, pray. What is the new version of yourself? Stay in that creative process. When you are in that creative process, that's when you get those downloads. Who is the new me? Who is the new you? And what are you going to create? It's so much about creation. Solar eclipses, they bring in a lot of new stuff. New information, Mercury, yes, but also new feelings. And it's the annular solar eclipse. And as I said yesterday, annular means ring of fire. So it's a little bit like a Uranus transit. I wouldn't be surprised if we experience some black swan event at some point. But what happens, the changes are fairly permanent. Now the degree axis is 21, 22 degrees Libra. That's the eclipse degree. So where is that in your natal chart? And it's fun to have a look. And it's not just whether it's 21, 22 degrees Libra, it's on the cardinal axis. So 21, 22 degrees Aries. It could be or Cancer and Capricorn as well. Now, in a few weeks' time, we have the lunar eclipse. It's going to come up, and I'm going to speak to you much more about that in the next episode. But the lunar eclipse in Taurus is going to be a lot about debt, money. We've got an over $33 trillion deficit at the moment in the United States. Pluto's the planet of debt and default. So Pluto in Capricorn, it's also linked to the Constitution, to the legal framework. Go back to July 1776. It's being transformed, it's being renewed. Huge time of change. As I've said to you many times before, we are seeing the Pluto return of the birth chart of the United States. This is going to ripple through the rest of the world. So I would say on that, what is transforming for you in your lives? How is that transformation going for you on a personal level? In terms of relationships, of course, but also in terms of maybe the law, because Libra is the law. Now, what's interesting is there's this tight square of 21, 22 degrees, which mirrors the 12th of January 2020 Saturn, Pluto in Capricorn conjunction, which was the beginning of the pandemic. So there could be some new push towards some form of lockdown. What that looks like, none of us really know. And because Chiron is in opposition, we're definitely going to see that in terms of woundings, healing, new healing technologies coming in, but also old ones probably still being pushed as the old is propped up artificially, the new one comes in. It's like we've got this duality going on. And I think that's really what you see with the Eris-Chiron conjunction on this North Node in opposition to the solar eclipse, is the collective destiny of our planet. A lot of cardinal energy. So the dark side are going to want to do one thing, the light side, something more positive. So let's do a mantra. Help me activate my highest self, calmly embarking on my true path. In fulfilling my soul contract, may this road be in service to others and to my freedom. God bless.